Welcome everyone to week 12. This week we are going to look at social media in general, particularly how it relates to search engine optimization, and then just kind of a general social networking or social media strategy. Reminder that your project 4 is due this week. That one is a little bit more time intensive in the sense that you need to run your campaigns for a certain amount of time. Shouldn't take you quite as long to collect the data and to do something like project 1 or 2, but you do need to run your campaigns to collect the data for a while. So if you have not started on that, I advise you to jump on it immediately. So let's jump into this first one. Social media for search engine optimization. Social media can affect search engine optimization, maybe not necessarily in the way you think. We learned a little bit about backlinks linking to your website and how that plays into search engine optimization. Google's algorithm does not take into account links from social media, just because it would be so easy to sort of blast social media with links to your own website. However, there is a strong correlation between a strong social media strategy and a lot of engagement and interaction there and search engine optimization. And so it's important to correlate the two from that standpoint. So there's some readings and video about how social media is going to interact with search engine optimization. And really for this assignment, you're looking at a simple explanation. Describe your social media optimization plan, including short-term and long-term goals, and explain how you measure success. We're going to get the actual platforms in the next assignment. So this assignment is not to say which platforms are you going to use. This is to say, broadly speaking, how is social media going to play into your short-term and long-term search engine optimization goals, and then how you measure that success. And this second question is really key. Anytime you're looking into a tool or a strategy, you need to know how you're going to measure your success. You'll find a lot more, you'll be much more effective when you can answer that question from the beginning. So simple assignment there for social media for SEO, and then we'll jump into the prepare assignment, introduction to social networking. This is where you're going to get down to actual platforms used, and so there's a lot of different social networks that you could use for this. You may want to use something more traditional like Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest. You may want to use something a little bit newer like TikTok. You might want to use YouTube. There's a lot of different platforms you can use for a social media plan. And this video will walk you through a little bit about how to take into account social media marketing, how to consider the different platforms. Right, LinkedIn is going to have a different feel. It's going to be much more professional focused. Pinterest typically is geared towards a female consumer, though not always. Facebook is geared towards a more senior consumer, but not always. And so you want to take that into account. You can target different demographics depending on the platform you use for this. And so you want to be intentional and say, where is my typical customer? Where's my ideal customer? Where do they typically reside from a social network standpoint? And then craft your social network around that. So for this assignment, you'll list 4 social media sites. That's to help you broaden your horizon. Don't just pick one and say, yeah, I definitely am going to go for this one. Explore different options. You may have in mind that one network or another is likely going to be best for you, but make sure you explore the different opportunities out there. And then choose one social media site and explain the specific steps you could take to market your website. Be creative, be social. This is a chance for customers to understand the personality of your company. Before social media, companies had a much more corporate facade, I guess I should say. No personality, no soul at times. That's not true with all companies, but many companies came across like that. Now you have an opportunity to interact directly with the consumer. They get a chance to see your personality. And what you accomplish with social networking is multiple interactions before it's time for that customer to make a purchase. And so when that need arises, they think, oh, I know, this company. I've interacted with them. I have a positive view of them, and they're much more likely to engage you for the purpose of making a purchase if they know you ahead of time. That's what we're trying to accomplish with social networking, with social media. And that'll be it. So a fairly straightforward week. Buckle up for week 13. That's our most involved week, and then of course week 14, as I mentioned, is a little bit more is a little bit slower. But this is kind of our calm before the storm next week. So do set aside extra time next week for this class. But this week I hope is fairly straightforward. Your project 4 is definitely involved, but if you've been running that campaign, you've already measured your first iteration, then it should be fairly straightforward to finish up. As always, please reach out if there's something on these assignments or in the project that you're struggling with. I'd be happy to walk through it with you. Thanks, everyone.